What's up, everybody? It's your favorite podcast, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Shane, as usual. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. As you can see, I got a couple of people with me. So, let's go ahead and talk about them real quick. I got my man Ryan over here, got my man Miles, and got my man Thomas. Fellas, I'll let you want to introduce yourself or how y'all want to go about this. I figure, Ryan might want to toot his own horn a little bit, so.
Oh, man. Ryan Jones, man. Raw Mind Sports. Follow me on rawmindsports.com, man. It's an honor to be on Get a Bucket podcast. And I'm making sure I'm saying that correctly, because that's raw thoughts.
Yeah.
Make sure.
Yo, I'm TV from the TV on Basketball podcast. I've had Trey on my show before. We do some cool things, and we just talk a lot about basketball.
I'm Miles Johnson. I'm the founder and host of Real Talk with Miles Johnson on, it's on all streaming podcast platforms. It's an honor to be a guest on here, bro.
Appreciate it. So fellas, I got a question. What made y'all want to start the podcast anyways? Like, what made you want to start your own individual shows?
I can start first.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go you.
So I started mine in July 2020, and it's always been like something on my mind to like talk about sports. I love watching the NBA, all that. So just being able to like have a platform to where I could just talk about sports on a daily basis was something that like I always thought about doing. So in July, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and just make an episode, and so that's what I did, and I've been consistent ever since.
Okay. Thumbs up as well.
I started actually back in October of 2018. I actually took a year off school, so I had a bunch of time on my hands, and I wanted to talk sports, so I thought it was a great platform to do so. And even going into school a couple of years back, it just still was part of my daily routine. I love creating content. I love talking basketball, especially, and it's just been part of my daily routine since then. And now into pandemic, since I have more time than ever, been working on it even more and more, and got to meet a lot of cool people, and my podcast is actually growing quite a bit now, so I'm happy with it.
Good stuff. Ryan, how about yourself, man?
Oh boy, where do I start? So here we go, man. Raw Mind Sports started in like 2018. And I think I'm probably the oldest one in the room or close to it. So been doing this for a while. What started was me and my fiance at the time, now wife, was talking like, what is your passion? And me and my friend just got to fussing or doing some debate. She was like, there it is. You need to create a sports podcast. So from there, created a sports podcast, started doing amazing interviews with celebrities, amateurs, no matter what the sport is, from sports training to athletics to coaches, to even having a gala, saluting volunteer mentors and coaches, people who get paid little to their monetary, to more podcasts. And I mean, here we are, still consistent, putting up amazing content each and every week. And that's all for my boring story.
Okay. So, I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, I've actually looked at everyone's videos, and I can't hold you, like, from the videos to the actual pages, they've been doing their things, like, and I've seen the progressions. I mean, Ryan, he's as you'll find out, he's raw with it, energy, very passionate. Like, you love that, like, initially, like, especially from like the time you like jumped on the show, bro. It's like, oh, he's a talker. Got you. Like, he's a talker. And then Miles, like, he's actually pretty good with his stuff too, fella. I also like the what you're doing with the graphics and stuff, like the way you partner up with folks. I love that, bro. I need a link with you on my own few things. And Thomas,
Sure.
The daily stuff that you do, very quality. It's like you really do pay attention to your things. So everybody, like all three of these gentlemen here, very good quality shows. And like I would tune in, if you got some time, why not? Like, you don't have to look at ESPN all the time. You got some top quality right here. So just wanted to give that plug. But fellas, it is March Madness. So I have a question for you guys. Who are your teams? So we're gonna go with Thomas and Miles. Who y'all got? Who are y'all teams?
Miles, go ahead.
So one of my Final Four teams actually got eliminated yesterday. Ohio State. I had them going to the freaking chip against Michigan and Juwan Howard and all them. So So I guess my Final Four teams now is going to be, I'll have Gonzaga, Michigan, Baylor, and Houston. I'll have all of them, and then I'll have Michigan winning it all. But I haven't been watching college sports as much as I should. But March Madness is definitely something that that I'm gonna tune into, and I'm rooting for Juwan Howard and the Wolverines.
Yeah.
I feel you. Yeah, like it don't feel bad, bro. Like I'm sure a lot of us haven't been watching college basketball as much as we used to. Thomas, who your teams?
Yeah, my team's in the Final Four. I actually have like 3 of the same with Miles over here. I got Michigan, Gonzaga, Houston, and then I think this one's gonna be kind of a shock to a lot of people here. I got Villanova. Heading to the Final Four. I don't know. I just like the system that they got over there. They produced some like good talent. They got some good coaching, of course, there when Jay Wright. I just think that they got a shot. I remember like being in high school watching that game winner from Chris Jenkins a couple years back, one of the most epic moments of the last decade in terms of NCAA. And I kind of had like a soft connection to Villanova since then. And also one of my boys, Kyle Lowry from the Raptors, alum from there as well. So got to show him some love.
True fan right there. He's a true fan. All right, Ryan, who you got?
As in the Final Four, correct? You talking about Final Four?
Yeah,
Or just talking about general? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Final Four. Just Final
For
Four.
one, Michigan, Gonzaga, Villanova, Raw thoughts. I don't care who the next person is, because one of these 3 gonna win the championship. It don't even matter. It don't matter. And I'm gonna tell you, if the brackets are set up correctly, if they are set up the way I want them to be, I want to see Villanova and Michigan playing each other in the national championship. I'm kind of like what my main man said down low here. I was about to say the other day, it's crazy how you brought it up about Jay Wright, his coaching ability. Yeah, I know he's still shocked over here, but it's okay. This raw thoughts. So I was gonna put up a post. Is it time to put Jay Wright in the category with the Blue Bloods? Reason why? Because this guy, since he's caught on, he has been successful. Since he beat Carolina in that national championship with a buzzer beater, he's been rocking and rolling. Like, his championships have been coming back quickly and fast. It may be the time we might be saying he's gonna win his 3rd title in a short period of time. Like, since 2017, am I right? I don't know for sure. The time, not the 2017, 2016 year. He didn't won another one since then. So he's going on 3 titles. And I'm gonna tell you now, people, I will not be shocked. I don't care how the games look, but long as they win, I feel like Villanova knows how to win. They have the coach that knows how to win. I love Michigan. I would love to see that. I think Michigan should cut down the nets, but I got Villanova cutting down the nets. There you have it. Raw thoughts.
I didn't put Michigan in mind. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, just keeping it a straight buck. I had Gonzaga, Illinois, Texas, and Texas Tech. Now, I look at it like this. Shaka Smart, we know what the man did over in VCU. Okay. Texas Tech, they have this gentleman by the name of Matt McClung. Do I think Matt McClung will be a good NBA player? No. But do I think he's a quality college player? Yes. And one that can get you over the hump in this type of March Madness format? Yeah. And then for Michigan's case against them, if I'm not mistaken, they're missing like their best point guard, and that's pretty detrimental to that team. So I figure that might hurt them. If he comes back, then maybe, I might put them in there. But that was my reasoning for not having Michigan in that, in my Final Four prediction. And I got to say too, y'all were talking about y'all games that you want to see in the finals. I personally want to see Gonzaga versus Illinois. And here's the reason why. Ayo versus Jalen. I don't think there's a better matchup for me personally, because I don't think Cade Cunningham's going to get far enough with Oklahoma State. So it's like, I'd rather see these two teams go up against one another. You have, Kofi versus Time. You have Trent Frazier going up against Kispert. Like, I think Gonzaga would win that matchup, but it would be interesting because I think Ayo is the best player on the team, or on the floor in that whole matchup. So that would be my wish list personally. But you guys said that you guys also haven't been watching basketball like at least college basketball like myself. What's the main reason for that, do you guys think?
College basketball, you're saying?
Yeah, college basketball.
I don't know. I think because when I watch college basketball, what I do look for in a game is the fans. I think this is where I think it hurts not having fans the most, because the college basketball atmosphere is kind of near unmatched in terms of the feel of a basketball, especially during March Madness. It gets crazy up in there, and I think without the fans, it just yes, March Madness. I mean, it's obviously the upsets will happen. It will still get exciting. It just doesn't feel the same. It just doesn't feel the same, and I guess it means I'm less invested.
I feel you on that. Miles, what?
Yeah, I would say that at least for me, there isn't kind of in the past they had guys like Zion, Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, we had big stars, Buddy Hield, Trae Young, we had years ago we had actual stars. I feel other than the guy, other the guy from I think he is in Iowa, Ryan Garza. Other than him, I don't know.
Oh, Luka Garza.
Luka Garza. I don't know a real college star. So that's part of it for me. There is no star that I'm okay. I want to watch him on Saturday. I want to watch him. So that's pretty much it for me.
How about you, Ryan? How about you?
For me this year, man, you always get usual stars each and every year. But honestly, I only follow Duke quite a bit this year. I follow Duke as much this year, but as anybody else, I haven't really got into the players, the people who you really want to watch all the time. What I have got into is where I have been very fond of how Villanova rotates the ball so well. It's a lot of teams that do it, but man, they rotates the ball very well to where I'm amazed at it. And on the college atmosphere, for Duke, let's be clear, raw thoughts. One of the passions about watching Duke basketball is watching the camera crazies, yell, do all that stuff. Now going back to what the question was about. Now, raw thoughts here now. Raw thoughts. Looking at Villanova, every shot they take, man, I never seen a team all year long. Every shot they take was a good shot. Every shot they have is a shot that's within the system, within the offense, that has enough. It's hard for you to say that was a bad shot unless they're just trying to run the clock out. Everything they do, every shot they take is a good selective shot. We have players who can create, make their own plays and make difficult shots. But when you have a team overall that can take good quality shots, it helps you for the next level and for the moment now. So for me, it's about, watching those guys play. And I know guys gonna go to the NBA. We all know that. But it hasn't been that one guy that made me say, ooh and nah this year. I haven't had that this year. Raw thoughts.
Ooh. So I get where everyone's coming from. Because the fans point, Duke fans, we love the camera crazy. I love that. I miss that. We didn't get that. The UNC games, it was trash to me. I'm watching with my boy, and we're just not as excited. I didn't watch too much of the game. And I'm still duped out right now. So it's just I didn't get that love that I really wanted from it. And then from the star point that you made, Miles, that's tough, bro. Because Ayo he's a star, but it's he's not the Zions, right? He's not your Trae Young, to your credit. So there is some validity to that. I think just if you watch basketball, I think you recognize, okay, they're stars, but to that casual fan, we're not getting that as much. So we are missing that point. So I can understand that point as well. So right, I'll be honest with you, I ain't really care too much about Villanova to really make that as the reason why I want to watch basketball. They ball movement I didn't.
I get it. I know it's boring. It's boring.
I'm offended as a Duke fan too. You gonna make that? Aren't you a Duke fan? You supposed to say you want to watch Duke?
Of course, I know what Duke. Because I thought I was gonna get into that later. Of course, Duke. For me, I'm all Duke, all in, everything Duke. It's I know with Duke situation, the COVID, it was hard. So I knew Duke when people was in shock. Raw thoughts. I'm it's simple logic. If Coach K counts all the non-conference games, due to COVID. Why would you think that he gonna go to an NIT that doesn't do nothing for no resume builder? He just playing games. When you go into the NIT, you just playing games just to play games. It ain't nothing to say. You don't want to have that. You do it. It's on 2-3 reasons why you do it. Like you do it because the university, even if you play bad, it maybe it's sending out a good message for the university, as in like you're supposed to represent us well, regardless if we play bad or not. But when you got a coach like Coach K who's been there for forever, years, he pretty much run Duke. Raw thoughts when it comes to basketball. So he can kind of make those decisions, and that would be said about it. So somebody just going to the NIT just to play. And again, this man, Coach K, canceled the whole non-conference season. I don't know why people are out here talking like they are shocked that he didn't want to go to the NIT. And it's already an invitation. You don't have to accept it. But at the same time, you should knew right then, like a duh, you knew he wasn't going to accept that invite. Everybody say he's crying and whining, boo-hoo. Nobody was saying that we canceled all non-conference games before that moment. So we got to pick a side here, people. You can't get mad when he don't want to go to the NIT, but you ain't complaining when he canceled the non-conference games. Like some stuff just, it's like, it beats me. Like what, like how, why? So when it came to that, seeing the stars, seeing the situation, I know with Duke right now, with Coach K, as long as he's there, is win now or never. So he's going to try to get these players in. Yeah, he hated it, but at the same time, when he looks at these kids, the way Coach K is looking at it, like, look, these kids have a chance to make millions of dollars and maybe be one and dones. I'm not going to jeopardize their career, that they probably have a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Their talent is going to make their family millions of dollars. So if anything, I know in his heart, he's going to be like, when these guys catch COVID and possibly leaves the world, do you know how that's going to feel in his chest? Even though he tried to play, but the whole time you're saying, like, do this and do that. And once you already had some situations that happen, certain coaches have that leeway. We hate to say it. Like, every coach don't have what Coach K can do.
So let me ask you guys this then, because you brought up an interesting point. With COVID, and like, you know, you can catch it if you're playing with people. If you are a team who already has an NCAA berth, right? Like Duke wasn't, unfortunately, Duke wasn't in that scenario, right? Neither was Kentucky. Like there were plenty of blue bloods out there that you usually see in there that just flat out didn't make the cut. If you have an NCAA berth already, right? Like you know you're going to the NCAA. Should you want to then play in a conference tournament, knowing that if you catch COVID at the end of that tournament, well, that can hurt your chances of making it to the NCAA tournament. Like, do y'all think that's an issue, or do you think it's even fair that you might have to participate in the conference tournament, knowing that your ultimate goal is to win the NCAA tournament? Like, Duke's won plenty of conference championships, but we've lost plenty of NCAA tournaments in the first round, whatever the case may be. So, like, I don't really care too much about the conference championships, but 2015, our championship, I really do love and appreciate. So for you guys, what would you guys rather, like, would you guys feel okay with saying, okay, an NCAA berth team can skip the conference championship if they want to focus on the college, to focus on NCAA, or do you think they should have to play and it should still be a risk? I'll say like Miles, Thomas, Ryan, whichever you want to go first.
For me, I look at it for a balance. I saw the boys looking, so I guess they wanted the elder statesman to talk. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my raw thoughts real quick. So look, it's crazy, man.
You ain't gonna talk real quick. Stop lying to these folks.
It's gonna be it's a balance, man. Make a long story short, it's a balance, right? So you do want to play in the conference tournament, but you also want to go to the NCAA tournament. You do know some situations, you know, you got to play in the conference tournament to get to the NCAA tournament. You have some situations where you may have already a bid, like you said, to go to the NCAA tournament. But here's the thing, then you say, okay, I might not want to play in the conference tournament because I know I'm going to the NCAA tournament. But it also says like, okay, you may be trying to be careful about COVID during that tournament, but at the same time, you still might go to a tournament later and catch it. Or you may. But
that's the ultimate goal, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's the ultimate goal. Like, what? I guess to me, it seems like I would rather have COVID during the NCAA tournament, because that's what I'm playing for. Like, if I happen to catch it, then tough. I don't want to have it at all. But if I were to select a time where, okay, at least I'm trying to make the championship. At least there's a chance. So there's an opportunity. Whereas if you're in the conference like tournament and you can't and you catch it, you might not be able to play before it even begins. So it's like it kind of hurts your chances off gate as opposed to hurt your chances during. Like, and I think you train for so long, you would rather lose it during. It's still gonna hurt either way if you catch it and can't play. But to me, I'd rather do it during as opposed to like the beginning. I don't know, like Thomas Miles, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I would say, I would agree with that. I mean, all college players are trying to play in the NCAA tournament. So playing the conference tournament, you have like several games. You could have the possibility of getting COVID, the team getting COVID. By that, if the whole team gets COVID, then there's not going to be no NCAA tournament. No, like a week from now, whatever. So yes or no, I totally agree with that as well.
I'm into with the devil's advocate too. Once he go. Now, also, and I ain't mean to interrupt. Now I look at it like this. Now you do want to play in these tournaments, but this is the tricky part about COVID. Like COVID overall is messed up because ask yourself, like, what if you get to the tournament and your star player gets COVID? A key player that got you to where you're at.
Yeah. It's a tough situation all around, and I think that's the risk that they get going to the tournament. And I like the point that Ryan brought up earlier. To me, it's different cases for different teams, right? I mean, there's like some teams like know that they're going to be a part of NCAA right away, so it doesn't matter whether they win conference or not. But some of these teams rely on winning conference in order to help them get to the tournament. So it's a different situation for everyone. But I mean, at the same time, they have to be kind of like cautious, and they have to be kind of understand, like, as a program, what is their goal. I mean, if they value, like, it depends really on what they value. So I think for like certain programs, they're gonna obviously want NCAA March Madness, they want to win that. But sometimes some programs are gonna be saying that, look, maybe we might not even make it, but at least if we can get this conference championship, it gives us at least an opportunity maybe down the line.
I look at it, I like that conference championship. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I look at it like an NIT. Like, it's cute, it just don't mean anything. Like, it really don't. Like, okay, that's nice. Like when people bring up Duke and UNC, right? They talk about, oh well, we have this many rings to your championships. Okay, that's nice. We can say we're leading in conference championships, doesn't matter because they always have more. So it's like that's the main thing that people focus on. So I feel like any athlete, any hooper, yes, you play for the conference championship, but it's like a little extra. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a nice little fun fact, but I think people are primarily going to care about that NCAA tournament. I want to see what they do going forward because I don't predict COVID to not be here next year too. So this will probably be impacting us. Hopefully not to the same scale, but maybe still impacting us. So I wonder what the changes will. I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying my optimistic statement here. Right.
Let's hope.
Right. Yeah. Now, gentlemen. I think we did enough talking there about the college game. Although I will say, just a shout out, Duke will be winning it next year. Just remember that. You heard it here first. Anyway,
I approve the message.
Hey. So for the NBA second half predictions, what's your final predictions? Like, who's gonna make the finals? Who's gonna go to the finals?
So with me, I have the Lakers coming out the West. And I'll have a caveat. Anthony Davis has to be 100%. If he's not 100%, I don't see them getting out.
Not even 85? Not even 85%?
75, maybe, 75, 80,
Some slight. Okay.
But, we going to need AD come down playoff time. Now, in the East, the Nets, I feel like, they're the team, they've been winning without KD, without Kyrie, just Kyrie and Harden. I mean, they just been balling out. Harden could be an MVP candidate as well. So, the Nets are also my pick out of the East.
Thumbs up by yourself.
Yeah, it's really hard not to go away from the Nets versus the Lakers at this point. And the issue is, especially in the West, I was hoping for this year that we got maybe some sort of like competition to the Lakers to give us like a better kind of, maybe like we could say, oh, maybe we can go this team, maybe we can go this team. But I mean, the only really competition is what? The Clippers, and I don't think people are really invested in them at all at the moment. The Jazz, I mean, it's something that we have to like kind of wait on for until the playoffs. I really don't think that we can like take this regular season on too much. And then on the East side, I mean, each of the East teams have their own problems, but the Nets, man, when you have those 3 top 12 NBA players in the league, it's kind of hard to beat it. And the way that they're playing right now, even without KD for the last couple of weeks, even with Kyrie and Harden kind of like interchangeable in and out the lineup, I just think that at the end of the day, they got the star power, they got the juice on offense, man, and they think they're gonna get there in the finals.
Ryan, how about yourself?
Raw thoughts, man. We all gonna say Lakers in Brooklyn. I mean, that's obvious if they healthy. I mean, what other options you have? Because I'm gonna be honest, a healthy LeBron, even by himself, with the team he has, can possibly get them to the NBA Finals. A healthy LeBron, year in and year out, win or lose. We're not talking about LeBron winning or losing the finals. We're talking about LeBron getting them there. The West does have good teams. LeBron has done this periodically, year in, year out, outside of the team he had at one time he first got with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Now with AD, yeah, they're going to the finals. Without AD, it's gonna be a tough road battle. But that's any team that LeBron had for years has found a way to persevere through all the struggles to get to the finals. To win it is a difference. To get there. With that being said, I'm going to Brooklyn. Of course, Brooklyn gonna go to the if healthy, it's going to be in the finals. The thing with Brooklyn, what's unique about this situation now they acquired Harden, is that they run the same system Harden been running for a while, that he didn't want all these scoring titles, the MVPs with. Even with KD and Kyrie being in out the lineup, he's running the system that he's used to. Mike D'Antoni is assistant coach of the Brooklyn Nets. Steve Nash played under Mike D'Antoni. They're running the exact same system. So to get through the regular season, we all know how it goes with regular season. Your star player's not playing every single game. So all you got to do is just have enough power to win those games in the regular season. Now your star power comes when playoff time comes. So with James Harden being there in the East, not as strong as the West, can play with his team pretty much by himself and win a lot of these regular season games. Playoff time will be different. So, I mean, with that. So the question that you just asked right then, we all saying pretty much Brooklyn and the Lakers with a healthy AD.
It sounds like nobody's giving the love to the Suns.
No.
I ain't hear nobody mention the Suns, which is crazy.
What? Over them?
Nah.
Bro, no.
You trying to joke at you? You're joking.
Whoa. If AD is not playing, because like I have Lakers and Nets. If we're talking about a healthy AD, cool.
Right.
And then with the Nets, it's Nets and 76ers
Nets
not
and Sixers.
too far behind.
Man,
Nets
and
and 76ers
right there.
not too far behind.
Joel Embiid hurt by next week again, man. Man, you can't even depend on them to beat nobody.
All right. This guy's over here wants to troll.
Yeah.
But y'all not mentioning the Suns when you got D-Book, who's an all-star and deservedly so, one of the better players in the league. I personally think so. Easily one of the best scorers. You have CP3, one of the best leaders, if not the best leader in the game today.
MVP candidate.
Exactly. And you have DeAndre Ayton, which people sleep on DeAndre Ayton just because he's not putting like 20 and 10. He's doing what that team needs because Mikal Bridges is actually elevating his game. You have they have Crowder, right? If I'm not mistaken. Like Crowder's actually there doing some Crowder does what he does, that space the floor, versatile defender. Like you need to get all these guys touches. So for me, I don't see DeAndre Ayton on this team getting 20 and 10. But he can off of his play, off of his talent. So I think people are overlooking the Suns. They're also a little bit deeper on the bench, and I think they might be trying to make another trade or a trade at some point in time that would be helpful for them too. So it's like I can't sleep on the Suns.
But you don't think they're like one year away? Because like, look, the Suns haven't made the playoffs since 2009. Devin Booker has not been in the playoffs. DeAndre Ayton, even Monty Williams hasn't had much like success in the playoffs, man. Like I just don't think they're gonna have that jump from freaking like what the 10th seed last year, not even making the playoffs over the past decade, going to the freaking like even like really competing for like a conference final spot.
I just went by like what you was. Oh, I'm sorry. I went by saying that AD was healthy. So if AD is healthy, I'm not even thinking about no other team. Like just thinking like that now. If LeBron, let's just be raw. I'm gonna really make this short. No matter what, whether we hate it or love it, no matter what team you have, if LeBron is not in that conference, then the West could probably be open right now. But LeBron James is still in that conference. Whether we hate him, love him, whatever you want to call it, he finds a way to get to the big game. So with that being said, Phoenix, Utah Jazz, whoever, when it's time for the playoff game, the 7-game series, LeBron and his teams usually get it done.
So here's what I say to that. I think like earlier in his career with the Cavs, like, you know, Bron could carry any team to the finals. Like in 2018, he had that Cavs team with like Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance at that time. I mean, I don't know how we got into the finals.
Right.
But I think LeBron now, he's gonna need another playmaker. And I know
That's
later on, I know later on in the show we'll talk about the Dennis Schroeder. But like I feel like Bron will still need a little bit more help. So even with even if AD isn't, even if he's not 100%, I think he's gonna still need some from somebody else if they want to challenge somebody else. Now, but matter of fact, to your point about the Suns, I actually have more faith in them than I do with the Clippers for sure. The Suns, I just feel like they, I have more faith in them. And Chris Paul, he is an MVP candidate. What he's done with them. Last season, he brought OKC. We thought that they would be a rebuilding team. They ended up being like a 4th or 5th seed in the West. And now with the same thing with the Suns. So without a healthy AD, the Suns, it's fair play. I mean, anybody could really make it out.
Yeah. I mean, not that this matters too much, but we're 0-1, against the Suns without Anthony Davis. And, we're 2-0 against the Suns with Anthony Davis. Now, I'm skewing the stats a little bit because those 2 wins came in preseason, but still, we gotta, you gotta give context. But no, like I said, I think we all agree if AD plays and is healthy, then it should be the Lakers going to the championship to face the Brooklyn Nets. Now, outside of those two, right? What would you guys like to see as your NBA Finals wish list? Just name it. 2 teams, one from the East, one from the West.
For me, I'm gonna try to name it, but it's gonna have to put this into play. My dream matchup would be the LA Clippers versus the Brooklyn Nets. Reason why, I don't know if it's true or not. If they release them, Westbrook can possibly get traded. The problem with the LA Clippers, what you guys just said, is that the Clippers having issues, and you're not sold on them because of their point guard play. They don't really have a point guard. Now, if Chris Paul's a point guard for Phoenix, you add Westbrook into that mix, very athletic with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and the way he's been playing lately, that's a different team. I would love to see the Clippers versus the Nets because you got Westbrook, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm a diehard Westbrook fan, whether people like him or not, against KD and James Harden, old teammates. My wish list.
How about you, Thomas?
Honestly, on the East side of things, like, if not the Brooklyn Nets, I would honestly like to see the Philadelphia 76ers just like it's like a healthy 76er team in the finals, seeing how Embiid and Simmons will do on the grandest stage. I think that would be really fun to watch. And on the West side of things, I mean, people are down on this team, on the Utah Jazz, but I just want a replay of like sort of the 2004 Pistons. You know what I mean? Like we don't have to like have like the main stars. We don't have to do that. Like the system. Let's see if that can like persevere once or twice. It's probably not going to happen, but I think that would be like a cool idea. Right. My guy is just sliding down his chair right now. Like, right. It's no love to Utah. No love to Utah.
I thought you were going the right direction, Thomas. You lost me on the West side. It's cool though. It's cool. We gonna bring it home for you, Miles. Who you got, fella? Who you got, man?
So out of the West, I hope to see, if it's not the Lakers, I hope to see the Trailblazers to come out the West. Damian Lillard, he's been playing at an MVP level as well, keeping them in the playoffs. And they brought now CJ McCollum just came back. He dropped like 30 points yesterday. I'm not sure about Yusuf Nurkic. I don't know when he's coming back. But if they have a healthy squad, it's too much. It's not. I'm like they can compete with anybody in the West. You got Carmelo Anthony as well. And then in the East, I'm a Sixers fan as well. I'm a Sixers fan. And I would love to see the Sixers come out the East as well. Obviously, Embiid has to be 100%. He's very injury prone. And then we still got Tobias and Simmons and all that. Simmons could arguably be a defensive player of the year. Right. But I'd love to see the Sixers make it out.
You got faith in the Sixers with an injured Joel Embiid. I'll leave it at that. But I'm praying for you early. Go ahead.
He just got injured, bro. Like he's supposed to come back. It's just a bone bruise. Look,
he's gonna win MVP.
But it's not even the fact.
MVP. Oh
it is not even. It's not even the story of like how. Because you're right. He's been playing lights out. My thing is, it's the same story every year. I mean, you say right now he just got injured, but this is him and Kyrie have ongoing injuries year in, year out. So when I'm going at like the story gets over. Like if he stay healthy, cool, but if you do this year 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, it becomes like, man, I don't even want to get my hopes up to see him because I really want to see him in the finals, but I don't even want to get my hopes up. And I know you can't help injuries, but I just don't want to get my hopes up to see that,
Yeah.
I mean, but we got Brooklyn in the finals and KD injury prone. So I'm just saying, like I had him on my fantasy team and I quit in 2 leagues because KD won't play no more. And he only had him on one team. It was just everybody was catching COVID. Like, nah, bro.
He'll be healthy playoff time though. You can believe that. Well,
playoff is cool. That's cool. I'm good with that. But I can also say the same thing about Joel Embiid as well. Because I mean, to be fair, Joel did play in last year's playoff. So that's why
but Ben Simmons didn't. It's gonna be one or the other. It's gonna be
be Joel and Ben Simmons because they both played in the year before when they played against Kawhi, which is actually why I say I would like to see.
You know who the 76ers kryptonite is?
No, I want to see the 76ers go up against the Clippers.
You know who the 76ers kryptonite is? You know who their kryptonite is, healthy or not? And it's crazy. This is the team that always find a way to beat them, but they can't beat nobody else with his time.
You say Toronto.
I mean, the Celtics.
No, the Celtics. The Celtics always beat them. No matter what, they always find a way to beat them.
It's going to be different this year.
They didn't, like y'all said,
it's going to be different.
They didn't have Embiid, and they didn't have Simmons.
They had them last year.
The Celtics not even above 500 yet. We not even.
Well, we went down this year. You're right, not this year.
They AC. You can't talk about the Celtics right now.
But it's crazy though, like the way the Eastern Conference is set up. Is that like any team can win a few games and there could be number 1, number 2, number 3 seed. Like the whole.
That is true. The Hawks.
That's true.
The Hawks went from out of the playoffs to now a 5th seed in the span of like 3-4 games.
Sheesh. That's what I'm saying. Like anything can happen. Like the Eastern Conference playoffs are set up to like it could come down to the last few games. It ain't like the West where you already know who's gonna be where. But like the Eastern Conference, you can lose a few games, be out the playoffs. You can win a few games, could be a top seed.
Yeah. I mean, the Wizards are 6.5 games behind 4th. That's how close you got to know, like, of the East right now, man. Like,
the Wizards are what now?
They're 6.5 games behind 4th. They're 6.5.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they're 4.5. They're 4.5 games behind. What's it called? The playoffs. Out of the playoffs. Definitely. So, gentlemen, I have a quick question. I feel like we talked enough about the sports realm. I don't think y'all beat my wish list, so it's cool. Anyways. So, as we all can see here, we're minorities. Obviously, we've gone through some inequalities, some injustices throughout our time. So, I just wanted to give like the floor to you guys and kind of share your own spiel. Thomas, like we can start it off with you. What are some things that you've actually gone through and witnessed, whether it's within the sports podcasting world or whether it's just like growing up in life? Like what was the thing that you actually witnessed growing up?
I grew up as of Asian descent, so I've got my fair few of discrimination in the past, especially in elementary school. I went to a predominantly white school, very small school here in Toronto, but I would say a good estimate is like 90% white. And you just know, like, it's like, even like back then, like it's not, maybe there wasn't like any like harmful intent, but they treat you different. They won't treat you like the rest of the other students. They like put you in like certain groups. They like pair you up with certain people. And it's like just like one of those things like growing up, especially like I think like a lot of like discrimination, especially now people want to talk about the Atlanta shootings that happened a couple days ago, where 6 Asian women, rest in peace to them, who were shot up at the massage parlor. It's just like a lot of like increased, especially hate during this COVID time, and I've had my fair share of people, cussing at me. Especially, I remember being at a cafe once last year before COVID even started. I remember just having a small cough, and some person just went off on me in a cafe, saying like, "Yo, like don't bring that virus over here" and stuff like that. I've had that stuff like in the past, but at the same time, especially now, like with like all the stuff that Jeremy Lin's been talking about, raise awareness for Asian hate crime and stuff like that. It's glad to see it. I'm glad more people are on board. And at the end of the day, whether it's Black Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter, we all are in here together. We're all trying to unite here. All oppression matters. At the same time, we all don't want to be oppressed. And I'm just glad that people are getting more like eyeballs on the situation.
Definitely, no, definitely. Like, it's tough when you see any group, anybody really mistreated to any sort of degree. Like I know, in like growing up, I went to like predominantly white school. It was a Catholic school, and like I'm like in high school, and they were just telling me like even during the old Barack, even when like Barack was running for president, they were saying like, oh, God must be looking down on us because like a black man is about to be in office. And you just never know like how what you say or what you do to somebody impacts their mentality or impacts like how they feel, whatever the case may be. So it's just like just unifying everybody and getting that getting that unification and equality going on. I really want that to like be a thing in society because it could further so many people like along in the world. And I want to make sure that like I say, all of you guys are able to tell your stories as well. Miles, I'll let you go next.
Yeah, so I'm from Philadelphia. Been here since I was like 6 years old. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. But all I know is Philadelphia. Now, I also went to a predominantly white school when I was in high school. And I played on the soccer team all 4 years. When I first got there. Yeah, they had me run down the soccer field up and down. They had me in shape. But yeah, I remember my first time. I actually it was like the first tryout. I remember I went there. It was only me and one other black kid there. I remember I was walking down the hill to the practice, and then everybody's just like looking at me and staring. I'm thinking like, why is everybody staring at all this? Later on in that season. When the white kids are like, when they're singing rap songs or whatever, they would say the N-word like almost all the time, like right in front of me. And as a freshman, I'm hearing seniors, juniors say this. I'm a freshman on the varsity team. I'm just trying to, acclimate myself on the team. So I just didn't really know how to go about it, how to really, say like, chill, all that. I still and then I was at another party my junior or senior year, and I believe somebody said it, and then they tried to act like they didn't say it, and then but it's just like why would you even like try to say something like that, or just it's just like a different environment, and just being at like a predominantly white school, a predominantly white high school, you just didn't feel like you belong, kind of, and so that's part of the reason why I went to an HBCU, just because I wanted to be a part of the majority, kind of like just be around people that look like me, and so like the experiences I went through in high school kind of like shaped my decisions now.
Yeah, no, I feel you. That's tough, bro. Like, cause you can easily tell somebody, oh, like, well, why didn't you just talk, or why didn't you tell somebody this, that, and the third? If you're like hearing somebody say, like, N-word this or whatever the case may be, like it's tough at a young age. Like, I've had someone tell me like, oh, they're gonna slap me back to Africa before, and it's like. Oh. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I'm like, yeah, mind you, I'm not a fighter like that. I was 5'2" and like a little chubby with it. Like, I'm not gonna throw hands. Like, let's not get that twisted. So it's just like, it's wild that people, I guess, go at you, and it sucks too, because if you tell like your black friends, they're gonna look down at you like, oh, why didn't you do something? Why didn't you say something? Like it's just always tough, bro. Like,
yeah, and then also, if you react bad, then you're perpetuating a
certain
stereotype of being like a thug or all of that. So it's kind of like a lose-lose because if you don't react, black people might be like, why did you say something? And if you do react, the white people are like, you're acting like a thug and all that. So it's kind of like a lose-lose in that situation.
No, it's definitely a lose-lose. It's definitely a lose-lose. Ryan, how about yourself, bro?
For me, like I haven't had anything I went through. I did have some raw thoughts earlier, but then again, it didn't even make sense to go with that. So, like when it comes to things like this and social injustice, I haven't been through nothing like that because, for one, I mean, lucky me, I guess. Being even from the town I'm from, Tarboro, North Carolina. For people who don't know who that is, that's the home of Ty Gurley and Montrezl Harrell. So that's what people pretty much know. Everybody's around here pretty much get along. I always hung around every ethnicity and always had that aura. Like I can be around anybody. But have I seen it? I always feel for myself. I've seen people being mistreated. Like even seeing police brutality for these years. And a lot of people always like, how do these people get off? It's blatant they did it wrong. Because the laws have to change. And logically, if the lawyer goes into court and says the thing the correct way, and it says law and law such and such says, because even when the judge even know if the lawyer or the situation is wrong on a moral or ethical principle, we live in a capitalist country that goes off the law and how it's written, and the laws have been definitely need to be updated from years and centuries ago. And when you go in there, they'll say law such and such says in this situation. When they do it, it gets the person acquitted. So you be like, well, how that person get acquitted? It's because the law is catered to certain ethnicities to get what they want. And I even had people on my old podcast, the Speak Orion podcast, and they even admitted, like, we know we're privileged and we know that we have those rights because why they're privileged? Because everything was created for them to win. That's why I have a pain for it. And seeing people who have really been successful work their butts off to not even get an opportunity or a shot at life, and that's why I teach kids and people who look up to me and things like that. I want people to get a shot at life. I ain't gonna be here forever, so whatever I could do to pour into anybody, I want to pour into you because it's bigger than me. I'm just here to plant the seed and watch it grow from wherever I may need to be at.
So Ryan, you were talking about paying it forward, right? You're talking about paying it forward, and I know that we're all relatively close in age, but it's still like a little bit of a gap. So like Ryan, what are some things that you've noted throughout your career, throughout your lifetime, that you would want to like instill to like the younger folks?
I want them to be themselves. Like you got to be yourself, man, to do whatever. I know some people may know about this part of sports, that part. When you're trying to create a podcast brand, because actually for myself, for me, like this is my living. So like I monetize. I also teach people how to monetize their podcast. I have a masterminds program, have a lot of advertisers who pay me quite a bit to keep their podcast going. So I have those type of programs where I teach everything back, basically from chapter 1, whatever we need to do, like to get to you, because everybody's different, man. So when I'm trying to do things like that, and what I learned is that each and every individual is different. Like for me, my raw brand is me really saying what raw means for raw thoughts means real authentic words. I mean, I'm just gonna be realistic. I'm not gonna cut any corners. I'm just gonna give it to you the way you need to hear it, and not in a bad way, and not to insult anybody, disrespect anybody. Right. So for me,
sugarcoat it.
Correct, and that's what it is. Because I've been there, done that, seen stuff like. I don't need to even take you down. They don't need to take you to Bradley Avenue, because that's one of my streets in my hood, and you need to be on Wilson Street. So I mean, from the hood I grew up in when I was younger. So and still is there actually for my family and everybody. But when I tell people stuff like that, man, you want to them to be themselves, man. Trust me, it's easy for you to be yourself. When you're trying to go approach a serious brand, like let's be real, everything we get for podcasts and stuff, raw thoughts, you got to be authentic. You got to be yourself, because ESPN puts up the stats, Fox Sports puts up the stats, NBC puts up the stats. What makes you unique is like all of us are getting the same thing from these areas, these platforms, because they're credible sources. How you create your brand is how you can. Some people like to use stats, some people just like to be raw. So my brand is like me being raw and give my personal opinion, because anybody can go to the Google and pull up a particular stat. That's not hard to do. But what makes you entertaining It's how you intentionally put out your content for people to listen to you. If you know what that means. Like, everybody has a different way of listening. Everybody has a different way of wanting to listen to you. So when I tell people, some people like to jump out in the ocean. If you can't swim, you need to go to the 1 foot pool and learn from a lifeguard. Don't jump out in the ocean, because it's a lot of people doing what we doing. So you're in a whole big pool. Start where you're at. Hone in on your particular audience. Your audience doesn't necessarily mean have to be where you live at, but it has to be a human or a specific detail of the audience member to look just like what you want. It could be the same person in California that's in Raleigh. So, well, Texas, but it has to be that particular brand of people that you're reaching for, not just anybody. Because everybody say anybody. Anybody could be everywhere. You need to make sure your brand, and once you hold on to the people who appreciate you, who just naturally want to listen to you because they want to listen to you, that's the brand you actually go after. That's the people or the audience you cater to. So when I teach people, man, and when I do stuff like, I just want you to be yourself. Because I'm telling you, being yourself and trying to be something that somebody already is and trying to duplicate that takes a lot of time, a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of energy, and it might not even work. So the best thing you do, regardless if a job accepts you or not, just be yourself. Trust me, they're going to respect you more, because they're going to say, at least he's going to tell the truth. Him. No matter how we agree, how we disagree, you're going to be yourself, and that's what it's about.
No, that's real. That's real, bro. Because like I got to say, when I was in college, like I was trying to be this person or that person. I mean, I'm still going to be myself regardless, but it's like, you find yourself trying to do things for other people, and you just got to realize, like, bro, as long as you're happy, everything else will fall in place. Like, if you control your stuff, like if you control what you can control, you will gladly accept what else comes your way. So it's like, and like when I was in y'all's spot, like Thomas and Miles, you guys still in college, like I wanted people to actually come up and like talk to you willingly about what they've gone through, because I think someone like Ryan, you can actually truly learn from, because it sounds like he's gone through plenty of things, whether it's success or it's failure. He knows people who might have gone through similar things. Like, I always try to listen to someone who's older than me, not because like you have to do what they say, but you know what, maybe what they did, maybe what they didn't do, you can either do or not do yourself, and it might work out for you too. So like I thought that was, it seemed like you were trying to pass forward some knowledge on that as well. So I greatly appreciate that. But this one's now towards Miles and Thomas. What are some things that you want to see from older individuals? Like, would you guys rather people reach out to you? Would you rather you reach out to them and make it small and showcase that you're, I guess, hungry for information? Like what would you guys, I guess, look for going forward in your development? Like, what would best work for you guys personally?
I would probably say just like a balance of both. Like, I would say, like, I'm the type of person who, if I want to learn something, I will go for it and try to learn it. Like right now, like, although like I know you guys, I know Miles is in a sports media sort of program and communication stuff. Like right now, I'm just doing communications as a minor. I'm working in social work, but whether it's about podcasting or whether it's about my field of social work, I always try to go to the people who have done it, who have gone through the field, who have gone through the struggle, and try to learn from them, because I think that some of the mistakes that they have made, maybe I can use like in future practice for myself. But at the same time, like, and what I get from like some people, especially like in sports, something like that, especially like some of the older people, is that they kind of dismiss kind of younger voices as well. Like I've been in that position as well, where because like say if I do talk about something that's happened in like the 90s, if I want to compare it to today, I get shut down because they're like, oh, I have not, I haven't lived through it, I haven't seen it happen. And instead of doing, maybe saying that, is like, instead of like being aggressive in that, maybe try and talk to me like how like some things are different, some things are changing, and maybe we can come to some sort of compromise in that sense. But it's a bit of both. I'll always seek out more information from older people and stuff like that, just to try and learn. But I'm getting some it's like just getting a bit of both is always good.
I can tell you for sure, man. You guys can always my man, get a pod. My Gary here, he'll tell you too as well. Well, he'll let you know info, whatever we need to do. But I have a young intern that's in high school that's about to either go for sports media program at UNC or Clemson. And what she does, she has her own little thing going on. And I've been teaching her a lot of stuff. And not only that, she's my intern like secretary. So half the stuff I have so much going on from so many meetings day in, day out with people, that she's the one who makes sure with the calendar, the things to do. And I teach her all the ropes. I try to keep her ahead before she even goes into those roadblocks in life. And I'm a type of guy, I embrace all the youth, because the youth is where we're at now. Like, my style may ain't work. So I'm always listening to what you guys do, because that is the audience. The audience is you guys that we're catering to. So whatever you guys like is what pretty much everybody else in your grade, those are the followers. That's where everybody comes from. So I, even not this summer, but right now we're working in a process of me doing like a summer camp, boot camp on podcasts, how to monetize podcasts, whatever podcast it is, how to create your platform. And I'm doing this with community colleges and a few junior colleges in North Carolina. So they're bringing me on. And I'm also teaching some adults who just want to just do it during the school year. And also during the summer, I may do like a hard full week. And not only that, I'm also helping some of the kids, like, to where, like, for you guys already in college or doing things in it already further. But some kids are probably going to be once or twice a month. Twice a month they're going to go to a college and kind of in that field, or where they're going to go into probably communications, and they're going to talk to these people at these particular colleges, and they're going to give them insight and stuff like that. So I'm also exposing them to other things. It's bigger than me, so that's what I'm actually doing. But go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
That's real. That's real. What are you saying, Mike?
With me, as a young person, a lot of times I try and compare myself to older people in sports, and kind of like sometimes I guess look down on myself, being like, oh, I should be doing this because this person's doing this. Kind of like compare other people when I'm kind of just starting out. So I feel like a lot of young people also go through that, where where they might want to give up because their podcast or whatever isn't going their way. But just having like a mentor, somebody that can just tell them that, when I was your age, I wasn't on what you were on or whatever, and just having like an older voice that can let the person know, like, which way they should go, is definitely like, definitely something that I like. And also just being on different shows, being a guest on different shows, having your own guests, that's also a way that, as a community of like sports creators, sports podcasts, all that, I love that, just being on other people's shows and all that, having other people on my show. I gotta have y'all on my show as well. So just with that, I would just say that that's the way that us as creators can all come together, and just everybody just grow and all that.
Yeah. No, that's real. That's real. And I gotta say too, bro, definitely don't give up on this, bro. Like, that, if it's your passion, your dream, don't. And you will be like, you know what, maybe I'm done. It's good. Like, I was watching a comedian special, and they were saying how, like, plenty of times, like, they're just like, you know what, screw this, I'm done, I'm over it, like, I'm done with my last joke, and then something pops up. Like, I'm not, full disclosure, I legitimately was thinking, like, you know what, bro, I don't feel like doing any more edits, man. Like, I'm tired. My last video took so long to edit, bro, and I was late with it. Like, come on, dog, this is ridiculous. And then, and I'm not trying to name drop when I say this, like, I'm really not trying to, like, Penny Taller, the first woman who got, like, first person who scored the bucket in the WNBA, I made a post about her and Lisa Leslie. And so she, like, saw it because I tagged her, and then she commented and followed back. So in my head, I'm like, all right, okay.
Yeah, you're a different type of vibe. Like, your whole energy just changed. Like, yo, she did it. No, I'm in the right place right now. I'm in my right space. I need to stop what I'm talking. I need to stop that negative thinking and keep going. Yeah. Right.
It so quickly, bro. And here's the thing too, because I've had famous people like unfollow me after they followed you. So that could very well still happen in this situation. But the fact that she recognized that, it's like, okay, that gives you some like positive energy. So, and that's going to happen to you all throughout your like career. So, but like, I'm only like a year and some change in, and like you know people who like might like your post or might comment or follow you back. It's just like, just use stuff like that to keep that drive going. Because like at the end of the day, you want to be happy, you want to be successful, and how you determine success is on you. So it's like, as long as you meet that status, that quota, like, you should be fine. So I mean, I definitely wouldn't give up on that dream. And don't compare it too, bro. Because if you really want to compare stuff, like, you are 19 and like I'm 28, and we're in like the same boat realistically. So like, you know what I'm saying? So like if you're gonna compare it, like, all right, you can look at it that way. I can look at it like, dang, I can be discouraged off the fact that I'm having you guys on the show right now. It's like, oh, they're doing their thing, blase, like, cool, got you. Like, that's not how I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's see. Do I need to change up what I'm doing? Do I need to add them more on? Like, how do we connect? How do we network? Because you guys could help me and vice versa, you know? So it's like, you always want to build, and I think that's the right mindset to have, just bringing people on the show to get that network. It's not always about what you know, but who you know. So sometimes if you get that networking in, like, you'll be okay. There are plenty of people smarter than me, but I got a job at like a good company coming out of college because my cousin referred me, and then I did well in the interview. So it's not always about who you know, it's what you know. So just keep that networking going. That would be my little two-bit information right there. But no, it seems like y'all actually doing your things like in real life. So I mean, definitely keep it going. So I don't know how, Thomas, I don't know how you do this stuff on the daily, bro, with your videos, like the daily picks and stuff like that. That's a lot of work, my guy. Like, oh,
Respect,
yeah. And Miles, I forget Buddy's name, but you seem to give off that good positive message vibe with yours too. So I think like you and I kind of like, I feel like you and I kind of like are similar in a sense, because I don't want to just talk about sports. I want to show people it's more to life than just a basketball game. Like, if you want to combine Stephen A. and Oprah into one person, I want to be that person. So like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Because like I think they both promote well, like, and a wellness amongst everybody. Like, you know, Stephen A. hit you with like the African Americans, because that's looked down upon. I think he also helps out minorities as well. Same with Oprah, but Oprah also encompasses everybody overall. So just blending those two styles, I think would be kind of cool. So definitely just don't compare yourself and keep at it, bro. That would be my best advice.
That's pretty cool, man. I got another podcast that's a Speak Up with Ryan, and it's just talking about anything in life with social issues. I call it Speak Up, whatever you're passionate about, whether it's this, whether it's social issues, anything like that. That's my podcast under my umbrella, Raw Mind Sports.
That's dope. I actually started off with my own called Tangent. Oh, no, it was with the co-host at the time. And like, we were just talking about anything, because the idea was, well, we always go off on tangents. Why don't we just call the show Tangent? That way we can talk about anything and everything. And it sounds pretty similar to what you're talking about. That's such a dope concept, bro. Like, how do you not get lost in like the conversation? Not in the conversation, but like, there's so many topics you can talk about with that platform. So like, how do you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you balance it all out then?
See, when I do, and that's where the interns, like, she makes sure I keep certain shows separate. That's for one. And for two, I'm in a podcast group on Facebook that have been reaching out for a lot of stuff. But for what you're saying, to keep the balance away, this is what happens with that show. With Raw Mind Sports, pretty much be either giving raw thoughts on sports, or I'm doing interviews of sports. The Speak Up with Ryan podcast, I have two co-hosts. I have a therapist that is also a part of my show, a black therapist named Victor Jones, and he's a part of the Speak Up Ryan podcast. So he keeps it balanced. He's the voice of reason. So we talk about stuff. He may bring up stuff, and I also have a DJ that comes out there that talks about stuff. So to keep everything balanced in so many discussions, I honestly, with that situation, I just open up everything, because it's a speak up. When I bring on a person, or if we talk, it's about whatever you're passionate about. If you're passionate about drawing cartoons, you passionate about it. If you passionate about how to be a great lover, or raw thoughts, or how to be a great boyfriend or girlfriend, whoever the person may be, or be a whatever it is, like, speak up, because Speak Up with Ryan podcast is created for people to, like we say, if you love your passion, you'll go even harder for it. It's easy for you to go into the podcast world and go work for somebody who, you know, after 20 years could get rid of you, and you done put all your blood, sweat, and tears into it. And it's nothing against anybody who works anywhere. I'm not judging nobody. But what I'm saying, I'm just giving an example. Let's say you gotta go to a job, you got hours, you can't really get off like you want to. You can't just leave and come whenever you want to go, because of course that's what jobs are. And let's say after 20 years they decided to let you go. Think about it. You done got a car, you probably got a house, you probably got bills that job has gave you money to take care of, and now you have to figure a way how to make your own money, because this job has basically provided that. But you may, with layoffs and things like that, if you're not the owner, they can lay you off at any time to get rid of you anytime, no matter how they do it. Some people can. So things like that, when you're passionate about what you love, you go over boundaries and go over anything to do it. So that's what that show is about. Like, it's to create whatever it is that you love, bring it out and talk about it, like whatever it is.
Miles and Thomas, let me ask you guys this question. I feel like, Ryan, you might, because you're talking about monetization, so I feel like you've like already formed your LLC, like you're investing and doing stuff like that.
Raw Miles Sports is a business.
Yeah. So Thomas and Miles, like, have you guys already done that? Because like mine is, I'm actually forming my LLC like this month, no lie. So by April timeframe, it should be an LLC. How about you guys? Like, have you guys thought about that yet, or investing into your company?
I'm actually thinking of doing it probably like right now. I'm like at the tail end of the school year, so I have a couple more weeks of school before I get some time, like a good 4 months off until next year. So I'm planning, especially with the way my podcast has kind of grown over the past year, I'm planning to start doing that like around like April, May-ish, to start like going into that, because I don't know, it's just something like I've at least especially during the pandemic, I've grown even more of a passion for it, and I just love doing this, like doing 2 episodes a week and stuff. So
what states are you guys in?
Oh, I'm in Toronto, Canada.
I'm in Virginia.
Nice. You in Virginia?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I know you're in VA. I know that, Trey. And you in Philadelphia, city of brotherly love. All right. My own wife's best friend lives. What's the college in? Is it American University?
Yeah, American University. Yeah, I think that's in.
Yeah, she works. I think she works there. She's a lawyer, something like that. I can't remember. But anyway, if y'all need help, let me know, man. I'm telling you that before you do anything, and I'm pretty sure Trey can say the same thing. You better, if you start receiving money or monetizing stuff, make sure your stuff is legal, because legalization or even correct. I'm telling you now, it's okay to sell shirts in there third. But we start getting to that, you got to keep up with that stuff, with taxes and stuff like that. That stuff can hit you later on down the road, and then some stuff go wrong. You never know. I'm not saying anything will go wrong, but it can. But yeah, that's what I
want to be prepared.
Right. Yeah. I have a apparel shop that I still have up. I have a lot of people still buy stuff, but I'm still thinking about rebranding stuff like that again and again, whatever it needs to be done. So I have that. I also have like things where I monetize to teach people how to make their money through their podcast, stuff like that. So I can go on and on. So that's another day because that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, but
you might have already told me I talk a lot now, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut up now. Oh, I ain't no fool.
I just wanted to bring it up too, because like, bro, that I know people could like some people out there will actually have the like purpose of stealing your business and then trying to like
you got that right
into the exactly. So it's like I don't want that to happen to anybody. Like, they could buy your logo and like your brand, and then you're trying to make money off it, and they're really the ones making money. Like, nah, I don't want that to happen to anybody. Like, imagine you spending the amount of time that y'all put in to make y'all videos per week, and then someone else gets it. Like, nah, bro, that's trash. So yeah, definitely, you definitely want to make sure that you're like preparing yourself as much as possible. And that's like, and I'm saying this, and I'm also telling this to myself as well. But there's still plenty of things that like I have not done or like haven't even thought about yet. So it's just like you just got to educate yourself as much as possible, especially if this is something you're passionate in. Because then if you're passionate and you're educated on it, people are gonna reach out. And like in today's times too, like I truly feel like minorities might be getting a little bit more look now. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna give this guy a shot. I'm gonna give this guy a chance. Like this, that, and the third. It's no more token this or that. Like, it's now more, okay, we might be more equal than we think. Like, let's try to make it an equal playing field. It's not gonna be completely equal, but it's on that wave, so you can ride that wave.
I'm gonna say this real quick, man. You're right, and that's why I'm telling people now. Everybody's going through this police brutality, all this stuff going on. Let me tell you something. You know how you say it's a certain season for certain stuff? This is your chance right now to get whatever you need to get done to be on the right playing field, because pretty much those privileged ethnicities are just about giving money away. Yes, it's a tax write-off, but it's just about giving money away. You need to seize your moment to make your business grow right now before all this stuff goes away. Yeah, I hate it happening. I hate things are happening, but you need to seize the moment now, because they practically giving away dollars, like to help minorities do things. So if you want to do something, you better do it now and seize the moment now, and don't keep wasting time. Because when it's over with, it's over with. Right now, it's a moment for that. And even with my advertising, man, I have helped them even create their trademarks and business, just like Trey said right then. Like, some of these people didn't have stuff going on. So me and my wife was like, and that's what she comes in at, creative brand strategy and stuff like that. And I help out with that as well a whole lot, because I know a lot. But she was like, you ain't got this trademark, nothing like that. So one of the people came there, it's like, can you make this to a business with LLC? We do all that. But I'm just saying, and I do that myself. So it's pretty much a we and an I if need be. But I'm just saying, like you were saying, like if you want your stuff to be successful, the worst thing you can do is it's just like a relationship when you're in love with somebody, right? And they break your heart. Or if you dump them, well, if the person dumped you, let's say the person dumped you, or you break up, you really didn't want to break up. Like if you love something so much, it's gonna hurt you. So why would you not want to do right by your own business or your passion and let it slip away out your own hands? Like that would destroy you mentally. It'll almost make you give up. But then you're gonna have to get that wake-up call. So it's what I would say. I'm giving you things ahead of time before it happens. That's what you need to do before it does happen.
Mm. But at the same time, too, though, go at your own pace. It's your journey, bro. Like when if someone tells you something, don't take it as, or at least try not to take it as like, oh, we're telling you this now. Like you need to do it now. Like we're not trying to be your parents, but like no. Like look at us as like the older cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like the older brother in a sense where it's like we're telling you what we notice. Do it if you want to, because you got to be happy. You got to be content. If you do it and it works out, great. But there's also a chance you do it and it doesn't work out. But then if you don't do it, like nothing works out. So it's like you got to be comfortable with whatever you're doing. But like from what I can tell, though, you guys are doing the right stuff. I mean, you're partnering with folks. Like we're all with SportsMe. So I mean, like it's being pretty active on things. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it seems like you guys are at least on the right track in terms of what you're doing. So like, I just wanted to commend you guys for that because like y'all are younger than me. So I'm
proud of you guys. Honestly,
I noticed.
I am. I just started this earlier.
Appreciate it.
Fact, bro. What? Like, what? Here's the thing.
Hey, y'all starting there. Y'all actually in a good situation. I started late, but it still managed to make it happen. But if I was y'all age doing what I'm doing, like, woo. But go ahead, man.
No, I was gonna say I feel like an old head sometimes, and I'm not, because like I feel like I'm in the middle of like y'all ages, low key. But like if I was doing this at your age, man, by now, like 6 years in the game, 7, Jesus, God, almost 8. Like that's tough, bro. Like that's so much can be done in that time span, and like, oh my God, what? About that?
It's a grind. It's a grind. I mean,
it definitely is.
Like, just to like, not only like be the person like behind the mic, but like everything that goes like, you know, behind like the preparation, the graphics, posts on social media. It's kind of like you're doing everything. So it's also gonna like prepare you like for the real world to getting a job, whatever. Because if you can't get a job at a ESPN, a Bleacher Report, whatever, you're gonna have all the skills to to do whatever that they want. So it's also like a good thing to prepare myself for opportunities down the line.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just going to be just in ESPN or like wherever it is. It's in any world, bro. Like my best manager that I worked with, she was very time oriented. You know what I'm saying? Like she had fun at the job. We got our work done, and like it's kind of like this. Like I'm getting a firsthand experience of, okay, well, this is what she was doing. This is what she was doing, because it's about time management. It's about getting everything coordinated appropriately or getting the right resources in place. Like it's a lot that goes into it. So this will actually help you on the job in any field that you go into, because you get criticism with this, whether it's you're not getting enough followers or likes, or someone's commenting on your page saying you're trash, or you get DMs or your friends like, hey, bro, it's not the best for you. Like you're getting criticized, but you also get accolades as well. So it helps you handle that as well. So overall, it'll help you out in the workforce too. So, and you guys will definitely be primed for like a management type role, which is a lot of work and responsibility. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. So the fact that you're getting in now, it's a good thing. It's kind of like going from high school to like NBA. Like, like you're kind of getting thrust into that world. So you're seeing it now. Like, all right, this is what I'm dealing with. So if you jump ship, well, I think you'll be fine personally, but I don't think you need to jump ship either too, though. So
yeah, man, just your pace, time, it'll come. Just dropping gems while we got a chance.
Facts. But cause I had a couple of questions, because I might end up making these a sports me topic. Like I had a couple questions for y'all. Taking it back to the basketball tip. Who do you have, not who's better, who has the most impact based on their absence, okay? Anthony Davis or Dennis Schröder? Not who's the better player. When absent, who has the best impact on the Lakers?
I would have to still say Anthony Davis, just because of what he can do on the defensive end and the offensive end. But his offensive stats, this season they have dropped a little bit, but on the defensive end, he's just been that ace, that anchor on the defensive end. So I feel like his impact on the defensive end is the reason why I feel like he's more like he's more of an impactful or a more valuable player than Dennis Schroeder. But it can't be unnoticed, what Dennis Schroeder has done, with the Lakers. And I mean, I feel like he's the main reason why they're having. I'm about the main reason, but he's a big reason why they're on like a 4-game winning streak right now. And without him in the lineup, they didn't have a second playmaker with LeBron. And at LeBron's age, like I said before, he's not going to be able to just carry a team all by himself. He's going to have another playmaker as well. So I would still have Anthony Davis as a more valuable player, but Dennis Schroeder's impact on this team cannot be unnoticed.
Okay. Thomas, how about yourself?
Yeah, I got to still go with Anthony Davis here. Just the way that he is able to, and you can even remember from the playoffs, like when LeBron, at some games, especially during the NBA Finals, you could tell that LeBron is letting Anthony Davis do his thing, and he was the best player in some of those games, especially throughout the playoffs. And this year, Miles mentioned it earlier, his stats have dropped off a little bit. But when it really comes down to it, Anthony Davis at his peak is a top 4, top 5 NBA player in this league. And he means a lot to his Lakers, not only as the player he is right now as like the defensive anchor, but he can also is like be kind of their next phase going down the line, like moving away from LeBron and all them. But yeah, Dennis Schroeder as well. There's not a lot of ball handlers out there in LA. So having someone like Dennis Schroeder, who is definitely an upgrade from Rondo over last year, is massive. And if you're missing him, it's definitely going to be a lot more taxing on LeBron. But at the end of the day, Anthony Davis, his talent, his impact on both sides of the floor cannot be denied.
Ryan, how about yourself?
I'm going with them guys too as well. I say Anthony Davis. But I look at it like at the age LeBron is at, like it could be taxing, like Thomas said right in, because he's at an age where he doesn't need to do all that work. So I'm about to say every team that LeBron goes to, he's always bringing the ball to the court. It's been a few times lately that he doesn't have to bring the ball to the court. So, all you need is somebody else to score. Every offense that LeBron has been in is typical. He brings the ball to the court, spaces the floor to him to be able to drive, make a play, or kick out to guys who can shoot the ball, really. And, with Anthony Davis being a pick and pop type of guy, it makes sense. But you really ain't, every person that even plays with LeBron that really needs the ball in their hands, their role changes and you don't really get to see how good they really are. So, yeah, of course you need AD. Of course, I'm going with AD over Schröder. Because you still have LeBron there. For me, that's it. So that's all I got. And with that being said, okay, give us the reason why, Trey, you're going with Anthony Schröder, because I feel like that's where you're going. Go ahead.
Oh no! My answer and the obvious one was Anthony Davis. Here's the thing. Because here's the thing. So I had a discussion with Freddie on our other sports podcast, Cleaning Crew, and he's making the case that Dennis Schroeder is the more impactful player, and he tries to change up the word. He's not to the Lakers teammates, but to me, it's still the Lakers. I don't care how you slice it. It's still who has more impact to the Lakers. And I stated okay, well, first and foremost, I can look at win shares, not just basing it solely off of it, but AD almost doubles him. Schroeder's a good player, and I don't think he's close to the person I'm about to mention. I think he's far surpassed him. But in win shares, Schroeder's closer to Kuzma. So it's not right there. Then on the offensive and defensive end, we can replace Schroeder with the players that we have on our team currently before we can replace Anthony Davis. So for me, he has more impact just off those two things alone. I shouldn't have to bring up too much more after that. But he stated that, he felt Schroeder was the more impactful because he gets to bring up the ball and he gets everyone involved and his defense can extend to 94 feet. I'm sorry, but we also brought in Caruso. We have Caruso, we have Matthews, we have KCP, we have bodies to replicate what Schroeder does. It might not be at the exact degree, but they can replicate him. And like we all stated, we have LeBron James still who can replace him. So I was just curious from y'all's standpoint, how do you view that situation? Because again, like we're all in agreement. And that's why I said I wanted to throw it on the on SportsMe at some point in time. We're also him and I are also going to make it a poll, and then I also making a video myself going more in depth because he made some other points, and it's like you didn't provide the correct context, or just like your information was off. So like I'm about to just like demolish him in that one. So y'all see that video coming up at some point in time. But I just wanted y'all thoughts on that personally. But yeah, I wouldn't do you like that. That was too easy. That was too easy. Now. Who and we'll do this one quickly. Who's your best young NBA duo?
I'll start off here, and I know a lot of people don't want to be talking about this team right now. They're kind of in the dumps right now, and I know people on sport. I know people on SportsMe, especially on SportsMe, love to trash the team a lot. But man, if I had a duo of Tatum and Brown going forward. I would be very happy going forward. I know the Celtics aren't doing well, but when it comes to those two guys are going to be future all-star, borderline superstar type players, and maybe you're going to have to move some pieces around them to make them better, but to make their team better. But if you're just talking about duos in general, I got to go with those two.
Okay. Miles, how about yourself?
That's a hard one. I'd say it's either going to be between the Sixers with Embiid and Simmons or the Denver Nuggets with Jamal Murray and Jokic. Now I'll say Jamal Murray and Jokic just because they can stay on the court together. And I know that, what they did last year in the bubble, they beat the Clippers. They gave Lakers, a fight. I mean, they gave them a fight. I mean, if it wasn't for Anthony Davis's last second shot, it could have been a game 6 pass, maybe a game 7, probably not. But so that I feel like they're like one of the best. Matter of fact, no, they are the best young duo right now, simply because they're actually like available. That they're actually like available on the court, unlike Ben Simmons and and Joel Embiid.
Okay. I'll give you that. How about yourself, Ryan?
I'm with Thomas. Tatum, Brown, your turn.
Okay. And we might have just broken a record for like the quickest take Ryan's ever done. So we I know so much math in my head. I'm like, all right, we got this much time left. We got Ryan left. We got you. Boom. But I really thought, all right, bet. Hey, I'm gonna say this, and I'm biased on this one. Ryan, I am a little disappointed that you didn't say them, but I'm gonna go Zion and Bi. As you can see, I'm biased.
Tatum is a Duke player, right? Ain't Tatum Duke?
Yeah, but I listed off 2 Duke players, like to your one. Come on now, like. Come on now, bro. And they're young duos.
I can't be biased, man. You know how many times I done got cussed out on a lot of sports shows for me being biased. When I talk about the 49ers or I talk about Duke, I be catching it. So I just started saying, no, I'm going to just go with the real.
I asked I asked your best young duos. So if that's, here's my thing. I like Ingram. I think he can be like a KD. I didn't say he's going to be KD. I said he can be like a KD. Look at the word choice. And then with Zion, physical freak of nature, and if he stays healthy, he's good. So that's why I chose that. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all for listening. Do you guys have anything you want to say before we close out?
Just rawmindsports.com, and I appreciate you guys letting me on the show.
Yeah,
got you.
TV on basketball. Check me out on Instagram, YouTube, and all them. And just thanks for having me on the show.
I appreciate you for having me on the show as well. Check me out on Real Talk with Miles Johnson on all streaming platforms.
Got you. Well, fellas, I appreciate it again. And thank you all for joining. And we'll definitely have you on the show another time. So with all that being said, hope you all have a wonderful one. Take care.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, cut.